Don't buy EOS, guys. I'm serious, don't buy it. If you don't feel comfortable with it, don't buy it. I'm going to tell you a little story from 2013. First got into crypto, was researching on CoinMarketCap, and there was this greasy little shit coin called Ripple up there. Researched into it, didn't like what I saw. 2017 rolls around. All these new people are buying Ripple. And I'm thinking, what the heck, why is everybody buying Ripple? But the marketing was effective, and then ultimately demand got driven by it, whether it was because it was at the top of CoinMarketCap or what. I don't know. Ethereum. I could have participated in the Ethereum crowd sale in 2014. I decided not to. I didn't feel like it was worth locking up Bitcoins for the future promise of Ethereum. Even after the mainnet launched, I never went deep into Ethereum because I was like, this doesn't fulfill the promise of being this platform that you can have decentralized applications on. It does not have the capacity to do so. And 4 years later, in 2018, Ethereum still does not have the capacity to run decentralized applications. But what I didn't foresee is that it would become this crowdfunding platform and that it would have all these ICO ERC20 shit tokens launched on top of it, and that would drive tremendous demand to Ethereum. So there's certain things, even if you technologically know, sometimes that can actually hurt you. And in other aspects, it can help you to be very technical. Tron read the white paper, reviewed it in November, and really felt like that their white paper essentially was just describing what Steam already was. And then it turned out later that their white paper was plagiarized, and I didn't really see much there. And the Tron that I had was airdropped to me and it hit BTC, and so I ended up selling it at around 5 cents and went on with my day. But it ultimately shot up to like 28 cents, and I was just like, wow, this hype is just absolutely unbelievable. But what you have to give Tron some props on is that they had very effective marketing for those who were not technical and for those who were just kind of like new to the crypto game. And they were mainly able to do this large in part with social media and with the airdrops. I got 2 airdrops from Tron, and the first airdrop made me look into Tron. So it put it on my radar. And then the second airdrop randomly came here more recently, maybe a month and a half ago, and I totally didn't expect it. It just showed up in basically an Exodus wallet, and I was like, oh, sweet, I have some more Tron. And I ultimately ended up buying some Tron because I checked back into their project, and they had a test net up, and they were ready to launch the mainnet. So I thought, you know what? It's worth a small investment, and let's see if they get anywhere with it. I'm not in love with the Tron project. I'm not in love with IOTA. I'm not in love with Cardano. So with Ripple in 2017, I held my nose and swallowed my pride, and I bought some Ripple, and then ultimately sold out of 90% of it at a profit and went on my merry way. Now, some of these projects will be like that for you, but with EOS, maybe you're concerned. Maybe that the FUD has stacked up so high that you never take a position, and that's fine. But just realize that, like my situation with Ripple and like my situation with Ethereum, I never went deep into those projects because I did my research and I wasn't comfortable with putting a lot of money towards it. And ultimately, when they appreciated thousands of percent, I wasn't a part of that. So just realize that if you don't take a position with EOS, that may or may not happen. Maybe EOS goes by the wayside, maybe it becomes #1. But just realize whatever happens, if you're not a part of it, then that's what you've decided to do. Again, don't commit capital that you can't afford to lose, yada, yada, yada. This isn't financial advice, blah, blah, blah. So let's talk about a couple other things. Like, for the most part, most of the FUD is coming from people who are not technical. And a lot of it's just, there's so much FUD stacked on top of other FUD that then people are cross-referencing other FUD and passing off as fact because it's been stated multiple times. So for instance, Doug Polk's video where he talks about EOS and he talks about how there was no testnet. And it's like, okay, that's bad research, because if you look on my YouTube channel, I was running a local test net, and then also the jungle test net was up before the main net launched. That was launched by Crypto Lions, and it's still up to this day. So, you know, there certainly were test nets. The code was being tested, but what does it even matter? The main net is up and running fine, and you know, we're going forward just as expected. I was seeing stuff where people were saying, back when the ERC20 token was around, they were trying to say all those people with the ERC20 tokens aren't going to get anything, and when the EOS blockchain launches, they're not even going to get coins on the main net. Well, obviously we did, and obviously we're getting our airdrops. I've already gotten 3 airdrops through EOS into my EOS wallet, so more coming, thousands more coming. I'm going to tell you why. So Ethereum, the success of Ethereum was largely based around, it was a crowdfunding platform and people could run ICOs, but then also one popular method, like what Tron did, is doing the airdrops. Well, to do airdrops and do ICOs on Ethereum was very costly. You had to pay for gas. To do airdrops, it could cost tens of thousands of dollars to do an airdrop. Well, on EOS, it is essentially, yes, you would have to have the money, and you'd have to stake some EOS to have the RAM and the bandwidth to do it, but ultimately after you're done, then you can unstake that and you still have your EOS and you didn't lose anything. Transactions were free, and you know, the RAM and the bandwidth was there to allow you to do that as a partial owner and not abuse the network, but use it and you know, provide what you were wanting to do, and then you're going to get your full amount back. So it doesn't actually cost you to do the airdrop. And if the market deems your airdrop to be worthy, then people will want to invest in it on the exchange, and then you are completely able to circumvent the whole securities issue of, you know, selling, basically taking somebody's money for the future promise. You didn't really take anybody's promise, you gave them the coins, and then the coins are being like actively traded on the open market. So it kind of circumvents in a way the whole securities laws. And again, I'm not going to try to, this isn't legal advice. You know, there's obviously question marks about a lot of things, and what's a security and what's not and all that stuff. And I'm not going to dive into that on this, but ultimately on Ethereum, the whole idea of running an ICO, it costs too much gas. Doing airdrops on Ethereum costs too much gas. Run decentralized applications, costs too much gas, can't handle the capacity. You have to understand that now, if you check out Blocktivity, now EOS has basically passed even Bitcoin. Now it's coming up. Bitcoin is now in 5th as far as the transactions in a 24-hour period of time. EOS has now passed Bitcoin, and in the last 24 hours did 288,000 transactions essentially. Ethereum is in 3rd, BitShares is in 2nd, and Steam is number 1. Far and away the most active blockchain in the cryptocurrency space is the Steam blockchain, and EOS will overtake all these, guaranteed, because ultimately it is built so that something like Steemit and all that can run as a decentralized application on top of EOS. Things like BitShares are going to run on top of EOS. Stuff like Steemit is going to run on top of EOS. And there's going to be all these ICO, or not ICOs, but the, you know, the airdrops and stuff like that, and the crowdfunding. But you're not going to have to pay for it. You know, it's a perfect way to do this, to fund your thing. And it's like, well, okay, if they're giving it away, then won't that just bottom out the price? Well, look what happened with Tron. They did a lot of airdrops, and it didn't completely bottom out the price. It actually made people aware of their project, and then people start trading it. Because let's just say something like Steam. Imagine this. So the value of Steam is that people buy Steam and they power up Steam so that they have more influence in that system. It increases your vote. And so You can vote for yourself, you can vote for others, and if you do comments, then you can push your comment to the top comment, depending on how much stake weight you have, how much steam power you have. Well, imagine something, let's say something like Steam, something like it, did an airdrop, and you end up with one, basically Steam, one Steam token for every EOS that you have, and then basically maybe you look at it and you're like, wait, what is this? And you're like, oh, okay, so it's going to increase my visibility and all that stuff, and I'm going to be able to earn more the more steam power I have. And then so maybe the market is like EOS to this new type of steam or something, and so people buy more EOS to buy more of this steam, and then they end up powering it up and everything. So a value gets established for whatever token this is, and then there's a value established just on an open market, and so you didn't have to pay into it. And then as part of the thing, as part of the airdrop, that let's say they keep 20% of the coins, and then once a value is established on the open market and it's deemed a valuable project, then they're able to sell some of it out to continue and finance their development costs and stuff like that. So it really is a better model, and you have to understand that every one of these companies, every one of these projects that's going to do an airdrop, they have to buy EOS to be able to get the RAM and the bandwidth to do the airdrop. So it drives more and more and more demand to EOS. And you can sell RAM. There was a guy that made $500,000 here just within a week or whatever, selling RAM out on the EOS network. I've locked down a bunch of usernames. I think that those are going to be worth money. You can do lots of different things, and the whole thing is going to be an ecosystem. But just understand, don't buy it. Don't buy it if you don't feel comfortable with it, if you don't have the money to commit to it, if you're not maybe in for the long haul, if you don't understand it, that kind of stuff. But I can tell you this, being a technical person and being someone who's been around since 2013, the FUD stacked on top of FUD is just downright hilarious to me. And ultimately, in the end, I am very, very confident that in the future, EOS will go beyond $1,000 per coin. I don't know when that would happen. It could be years down the line. And it is not going to kill Ethereum. Ethereum is a major artery of the cryptocurrency space, and it's not going to kill it. It'll continue to exist, and EOS is going to be there, and Litecoin and Bitcoin, stuff like that, it's still going to be there. It's not going to kill anything, but it's another opportunity for you to potentially earn from the airdrops. It's an opportunity that you can earn from selling RAM. It's an opportunity that there'll be future, basically, games that you could earn from, future social networking platforms. Ono is coming out, and that's a social networking platform and stuff. So I'm going to be getting an airdrop from that and everything like that. So, if you don't want to invest, I understand. If you feel like it's centralized or the FUD is basically stacked up on itself and you don't feel comfortable with it, just don't do it. But just realize that the same thing that happened to me, where I missed out on thousands of % of appreciation from Ethereum or Ripple, could happen to you. Or maybe EOS goes by the wayside and nobody's using it in a year or two. Who knows? Crypto's unpredictable, but I've basically put a decent amount into EOS, and I'm already receiving the airdrops, so I'm happy with it, happy with the progress of the project. And of course, there is no utopian situation in crypto. Everything has advantages and disadvantages. So anyway, follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos. Hopefully you guys like this talk, like this story, but follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Steam it. See you guys.